I do not know what kind of army this is, where the wounded are told to finish themselves off.
Ukrainian forces have recaptured the village of Dnipro-Energia in Donetsk Oblast's Volnovakha district and advanced in two key frontline sectors in the past 2 months, Lieutenant Nayev, commander of the Vuhledar Tactical Group, reported. I have been in command of the tactical group for 2 months. During this period, we managed to reduce personnel losses by 20%, regain control of the village of Dnipro-Energia, and improve the tactical situation in 2 critical areas, Nayev wrote. Dnipro-Energia, located along the Mokry Yali River in the Komar community, has long been a contested area in eastern Ukraine. The settlement, which had a pre-war population of some 100 people, lies 20 miles northwest of occupied Vuhledar. Nayev did not specify the date of the settlement's liberation. The monitoring group Deep State lists the village as partially occupied as of April 14th, with reported Russian advances in the nearby settlements of Katerinivka, Terny, and Pishcheny. Nayev said Ukrainian troops eliminated about 9,500 Russian soldiers and destroyed 51 tanks, 166 armored vehicles, and 819 pieces of other equipment over the past 2 months in the sector. The commander also noted that Russia is ramping up its assault operations, deploying more troops and hardware to the front. The reported tactical gains come amid a broader escalation by Russian forces, particularly in Donetsk Oblast. Commander-in-Chief Oleksandr Syrsky said that Russia's new spring offensive has actually already begun, with fighting intensifying around key locations, including Pokrovsk, a major logistics hub northwest of occupied Donetsk. CNN, citing Ukrainian General Staff reports, said Russian troops have been attempting breakthroughs along multiple sectors, just as Washington renewed pressure for a ceasefire. Despite mounting battlefield pressure, Ukrainian forces continue to conduct counterattacks to contain Russian advances and reclaim lost ground. The lady in the video is asking which army tells its soldiers to finish off their own wounded. Ma'am, it's your own country's army.
A Russian woman just spoke with Fyodor. You know, we call each other once a day. He calls himself when he can. He said that before that assault, they were told not to take medical kits. Like no one will come to get you anyway. They say, how can that be? And he says, well, you can go ahead and to set 1 bullet aside for the end. We do not need 300. I do not know what kind of army this is, where the wounded are told to finish themselves off. They are emotional. Everyone is emotional. What if there's another assault? Just in case, we said our goodbyes.
A large Russian attack near Velika Novosilka was repelled. New footage and an updated damage assessment. In a 2-wave assault using more than 20 armored vehicles and 41 motorcycles, Russian forces tried to break through near Volnopol and Novosilka. But soldiers of Ukraine's 31st Mechanized Brigade, with support units including the 3rd Mechanized Battalion of the Presidential Brigade, stopped them cold, destroying 14 infantry fighting vehicles and 2 tanks. As of April 14, 2025, Ukrainian forces successfully repelled a significant Russian assault near Velika Novosilka in the Donetsk region. The attack involved 3 tanks, 18 infantry fighting vehicles, and 41 motorcycles. Ukrainian defenders managed to destroy 13 enemy vehicles, including 3 tanks and 4 Akhmet armored vehicles, resulting in approximately 40 Russian casualties. This engagement underscores the resilience and effectiveness of Ukrainian troops in countering Russian offensives in the area. This is Toretsk, once a city habited by 30,000 people. Now, deserted and completely destroyed. This is Ruski Mir arriving. Footage made by the 100th Mechanized Brigade. As of mid-April 2025, the battle for Toretsk remains intense, with Ukrainian forces making notable advances within and northeast of the city, despite ongoing Russian offensives. Ukrainian elite units have successfully broken through southern Toretsk, leading to the collapse of Russian defenses after a prolonged 9-month battle. In a significant operation, Ukraine's air force struck and destroyed a concentration of Russian troops in Toretsk. eliminating personnel from the 1st Separate Guards Motorized Rifle Brigade. Additionally, Ukrainian soldiers neutralized 286 Russian invaders in a single day, highlighting the heavy losses sustained by Russian forces in this sector. Despite these setbacks, Russian troops continue their assaults, but Ukrainian defenders remain resolute, inflicting substantial casualties and maintaining control over key positions in Toretsk. President Zelensky stated that Ukraine is ready to purchase 10 Patriot air defense systems from the United States for $15 billion, and some European partners may help with financing. According to him, Ukraine has yet to receive the additional Patriot systems that were promised at last year's 75th NATO summit in Washington. As usual, Trump is spreading fake news again by claiming that Zelensky started the war with Russia. By the way, Zelensky wasn't even president in 2014 when Russia annexed Crimea. And even kids know that in 2022, Russia unprovokedly invaded Ukraine. Trump has fully turned on Zelensky. He's always looking to purchase missiles. You don't start a war against someone 20 times your size and hope people give you missiles.
President Zelensky serve out his offer to purchase more Patriot missile batteries?
Oh, I don't know. He's always looking to purchase missiles. You know, he's against. Listen, when you start a war, you got to know that you can win the war, right? You don't start a war against somebody that's 20 times your size, and then hope that people give you some missiles.
Hungary, Russia's lapdog in Europe. Hungary threatens to veto Ukraine's EU membership, refuses to join the EU training mission, and vows to block aid to Kiev. Budapest will also oppose sanctions on Russia's nuclear sector and continue buying its energy, Hungarian Minister of Foreign Affairs Péter Szijjártó said. Polish Foreign Minister Sikorski slams Hungary for lacking moral clarity on Russia's war. Putin talks about peace, but bombs civilians and kills children. The victim agrees to a ceasefire. He escalates. That gives us clarity. Hungary clearly lacks it. The Trump administration proposed halting funding for NATO operations. The Washington Post reported on this, citing an internal document it has received. The document recommends that the U.S. Department of State implement additional budget cuts, including reductions in funding for the United Nations and other international organizations. The memo outlines that cuts contained in an early proposal from the White House Office of Management and Budget for the next fiscal year would leave a total budget of $28.4 billion for all activities the State Department and USAID carry out. That represents a decline of $27 billion, or 48%, from funding levels approved by Congress for 2025. Meanwhile, a sharp reduction of nearly 90% has been proposed for international organizations. According to the memo, funding for the UN, NATO, and 20 other organizations would be discontinued, with only limited contributions remaining for a select few, including the IAEA and the International Civil Aviation Organization, the media reports. Furthermore, it calls for the complete termination of funding for international peacekeeping missions, citing recent mission failures, though no further details are provided. Trump is making all Putin's wet dreams come true.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comment section. The membership link is in the description.
Rescues every day. We had a guy last week, it's 6 rescues in 6 days. You know, he's doing the job every day.